Right, this is the Rayleigh Pathfinder that we are restoring the interior for Practical Classics magazine. We've obviously gone through and done all the tear repairs here. Obviously the leather first of all was cleaned, prepped, tear repairs done, filler ore carried out. We've put all the red, because obviously we're going from the sort of light bluey grey colour to this sort of beautiful sort of deep maroon. We put all the maroon into all these sort of areas that you can see to make sure that the colour is into those correctly. Now we're going to sand these particular bits of filler area, and then we're going to apply the coat of grey primer on. So then when we go over the top with the maroon, you're not putting as much paint on as you would have seen in the prior videos that we did. So first of all, let's get the sanding done. There's only very, very light sort of filler in these, so there's not going to be a lot of sanding to be carried out with these. It's just a matter of just knocking off the tops, just so that we can make sure that it's in those areas. So just lightly sand those away. This is the worst one. This will obviously show up as a scar when it's done, because obviously it's, like we explained in the last video, it's a bit like having plastic surgery yourself. You will always see where that's been done. If you cut yourself, you're going to end up with a scar left. And that's what you're going to get. It's the same, if you end up with, like, you can see here where I've had an operation, and you can see you end up with a scar. Basically this is what you're going to get with natural skin. That's the same thing that's going to happen with this here. So we are going to get this natural mark. So we need to do this first of all. So then once we get the grey on there, we can tell whether we need to put any more filler in this, or whether we're ready to just carry on going. So let's just blow that off with the airline. And then once we've blown that off, we can then start applying the actual grey primer paint. So that's all blown off, so now you can give the paint a shake, and then we can start applying the grey to the surface. So we're going to wipe this in first of all, just like so, and then we're going to stipple that once we've wiped that in. This is just sort of like acting as a base coat. It just means, because the maroon's a very, very translucent see-through colour, it just means putting this on there first. It will allow the darkness to shadow through it, which will get us exactly the look that we need without putting too many coats of the maroon on, because the maroon's obviously a very translucent see-through colour. In some cases you can put like a black down if you wanted to. We've just chosen to go with the grey, that's all. So just going to wipe that coat in all the way around, and we're going to be able to tell whether we need any more filler in here as well once we start to stipple that on. We probably won't do it. We're going to wipe this around on the whole seat for you, but we're not going to stipple the whole seat, because it'll just be repetitive, me going along just painting the whole thing from start to end. But I'm just going to show you this all the way around on this facing of how we're going to do this. And then in the next video, we'll then start to apply the maroon colour for you, so you can see how that's done as well. So it's just a matter of wiping this in. Once you wipe this in, you're not going to actually see the streaks, because once you stipple over, you're not going to actually see any streaks once you start spraying. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to actually take this out and do the actual centre armrest, because this is obviously already loose. So this obviously dries very, very quick. As you can see, it's very, very quick drying, so you don't have to worry about that getting on anything, because this isn't a very, very important stage at the moment, because all we're doing is getting the grey primer on there, really. So just simply wipe that all the way around. Doesn't matter what it looks like at this stage, this is just to get a coating and a base layer on there so that the maroon takes a lot better than it would do just going straight onto this white. If you can imagine the maroon going on there, it's going to shadow through this sort of lighter colour, whereas getting this on there, it's going to shadow darkness through, which is exactly what we need it to do. I'm only going to do this top part of this, and then I'm going to put it on one side and then carry on with the pleats on the main seat. Just wanted everything to be at the same sort of stage, that's all. Just get all the side done, tip it over so you can see what I'm doing. Just getting this all pushed into the lines, and then we're going to swap and do the other side in a second. The beauty with our products is they're non-hazardous, they're NMP free, they are not solvent based, they're not abrasive, they're nothing. They're completely natural waterborne products, so they're environmentally friendly as well, and they're completely solvent free. They're the best there is that you're going to get, and they're ultra safe. Washes off on your hands. As you can see, I've not got gloves on. If you do have a skin allergy, I would advise wearing the gloves, because you don't want obviously to flare up those allergies on your hands if you've got a skin allergy. But it does just wipe off, wash off with warm water on your hands. It's very good. So I'm just getting all that done around there, and then I'm going to put that on one side. It's got the main coating of grey on there, and then we can put that on one side and just let that sit while I carry on doing the rest of the seat. So we'll start at this end here. I'm just going to again just gently wipe this colour in all the way around, and it's just getting its base layer on, ready for the... We'll probably stipple a coat of this on as well, but we'll show you that in a second. We'll be able to show you on the top, but then what we're not going to show is obviously the balance of the stippling, because it'll just be repetitive like we're doing now. But we just wanted to show you how we do this so that it gets the whole seat covered. Do these pleats here as well, and then we're going to do the inside of the armrest area in a second in here. We'll show you how to do that. Once you actually stipple this on, it'll start to build the colour up as well and make it a lot easier for applying the maroon on. As I say, you can use black if you wanted to. There is no set rule. I just chose the grey because it's a darker colour and it just shadows through quite nicely. But the grey acts as a great, nice sort of good grey primer on the surface of the leather. So obviously stippling the colour on, we'll come back to that in a second, but stippling the colour on, we would simply just stipple like so that it builds the grey colour up. Just like that. Just simply stipple the colour on. And that's going to give you a little bit of an effect of grain as well on the surface. It's not going to feel rough or anything like that, but it's just going to push all the colour deep into the grain. There is a bit of grain on here. It is quite a smoothish grain, but there is some grain on here, and particularly on the pleated areas. There's a lot more grain on those than there is on this outer sort of area. But it's just a matter of stippling the colour on like so. I always try to get the paint, it's just my personal preference, into a corner, so I'm running with a leading edge all the time, so that I'm not like catching any area. So I'm always running with that leading edge. That way you get a much better, nicer, even finish on the surface of the leather. There are a multitude of colours that you can get, obviously, with the leather repair paints. We do have 28 standard colours. From there, all those colours can be mixed together to make hundreds of thousands of shades of those colours. So it's amazing what you can do, with the leather repair paints. There is an enormous amount of shades that can be gained, as we say, and obviously if there isn't one that you don't see, we can scan your leather for you if you send in a sample, and we can match that perfectly with our in-house technicians can do that for you. Not only do they do it with the scanner, with the Spectro, they will finish it by eye to ensure that it's perfect for you. So it's just a matter of just going over the seat like so and stippling it all on. And the same with the pleated areas. You can see we'll just do this little section just here, and then we'll show you the inside of the armrest area where we're going to do that. So I'm just going to stop doing that now because that's going to be the same over the whole seat. And again, in here, we're just going to wipe the paint on. This is vinyl inside here. So the leather paints adhere to vinyl as well, so you don't have to worry about that. If this was a main vinyl seat that was going to be sat on, then we would use a vinyl adhesion promoter first of all. As it's a non-contact area, we're not worried about having the vinyl adhesion promoter on there because there'll be enough grip with the paint for it not to actually come off or anything like that with the seat rest, with the armrest going in and out of the back here. It's not going to actually come off or anything like that. So it's just a matter of just wiping the colour around first of all, and then we're going to do exactly the same as what we've just done, which is then stipple the colour on. We're obviously going to spray this as well. The maroon will be sprayed, not the grey obviously. And then we're just going to do this little back area here that you can't see. And then obviously once you start putting the colour on, it obviously takes a little bit longer to dry on the vinyl, but again, you would just stipple the colour on like so. Exactly the same as what we've just done on the seat. And just stipple the colour on. So again, running off the leading edge, just simply stippling on the colour like so. And that would again do exactly the same thing to the vinyl is what we're doing to the leather. But as I say, if it was a vinyl seat and we were painting the front of the seat like on the top areas like we've done here on this pleated area, and this was vinyl, we would prep the seats as normal. Colour couldn't come off obviously because it's an injected plastic. And then we would put the vinyl adhesion promoter on and then apply the leather repair paint over the top. Because the paints do work on vinyl as well as obviously on leather. So it's just again, it's a stippling motion to get that coverage in there, and you can see that covering quite nicely. And we've only put on like that one thin coat, and then obviously this grey, and this is the power of the products that we supply. That has literally changed the colour of that item, as you can clearly see here, from this light bluey grey colour to this dark grey quite quickly. So that is the power of the products. They are one of the best leather repair paints that you can get in the industry. And they're absolutely phenomenal. If you have any questions at all about this restoration that we've done, or a restoration that you wish to undertake, we are here to help people. We want to thank Practical Classics again for the help and privileges that they've allowed us to restore this seat, and we hope that there are many more items to come from them to restore. If you wish to get any further details, go onto the website leatherrepaircompany.com. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. It is always grateful to have people's feedback. We would love to see pictures of jobs that you've done using our Leather Repair Company leather care and repair products. Please give Practical Classics a subscribe to the magazine, subscribe to the YouTube channel, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and give us a thumbs up on our videos. Thank you very much, guys. Much appreciated. See you in the next video.